FYI, always a pleasure to catch up with Andy Sokolovich of Grow Clinton. Andy, just quick before we get into the talking points that you gave to us, again, just a brief history for our listeners about Grow Clinton, because you really haven't been around that long as Grow Clinton.
No, 2 years, almost to the day. Grow Clinton, it was established as a 501c6. We are the merged organization following the successful merger of the Clinton Regional Development Corporation and the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce. The Clinton Regional Development Corporation was an industrial-focused organization doing a lot of attraction on the manufacturing side. They were around for nearly 70 years. The Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce, over 150 years old, did a lot of the small business development. And we just realized one day sitting in a boardroom that our missions were very much aligned. Yet we were going out to the Clinton Regional Development Corporation soliciting for investment in our organization to be able to do our job. On the heels of myself going in and asking for money was the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce doing a very similar mission again, asking for money to do their job. So it just made sense, especially moving into a new era. How can we merge our organizations and be more effective? And in March of 2022, we did that and became Grow Clinton.
And you, of course, were with the Clinton Regional Development Corporation. How did this all come about for Andy Sokolovich?
Well, you know the person around a board table that opens up their mouth and then the rest of the board looks at them and goes, that sounds like a good idea. You do that, right? That's kind of what happened is I made the comment one day about merging, and this has been something that we were thinking about for the better part of a decade plus, but there was really no leadership in place to make it happen. And we realized that we did not have a president and CEO of the Clinton Regional Development Corporation at the time, and we were void of a president and CEO for the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce. So rather than us seeking two leadership positions, we decided to just merge and create one position in Grow Clinton. I interviewed for the position of president and CEO of Grow Clinton, and I was hired in April of 22.
We, of course, visit with Grow Clinton every Monday at 9:05. And actually, the people that come in, there's like 4 of you that come in. So not a real big staff.
Not a huge staff. We have Stacy Borgeson, who is our Director of Talent Attraction and Workforce Development. Jenny Holm works with all of our members. Ashley Hatterberg does a great job with our event planning and our marketing. And then we have Leslie Webster, who does all of our tourism, and of course brought Matt Parbs in a little over a year ago to take the position of Vice President, which was really to get some stuff off of my plate, which has been an amazing hire. Matt does a phenomenal job. He knows everybody. And of course, Karen Fries, our longstanding employee at the front desk as our office coordinator, has been there for over 25 years. So not a huge staff, but we continue to not only get by, but succeed. And some of those recent successes are evident in our ribbon cuttings and our groundbreaking ceremonies, and really just kind of the growth or the injection of economic wealth into our communities.
Of course, I am a Clinton native, and I know I've brought this up before, but it always interests me that people like yourself, Matt Parbs, Matt Brook, come out of the area, come into Clinton, and just really embrace our community.
Yeah, it's easy to do, Gary. I mean, I love this community. I've been here since 2012. It's hard to believe I've been here for 12 years. It's gone by in a blink. But I tell you what, just the salt of the earth, people that we have here, hard workers. From an economic development standpoint, we have all the resources and infrastructure you could possibly want to do business. You look at transportation, we got river, we got a great road system, and we got rail. And those 3 right there are just a concoction for success moving forward. Plus, I just love getting involved in this community, from Kiwanis to Rotary. There's just so many philanthropic groups around here that are doing some amazing things for some people in need. And it's easy to sleep at night knowing that you're part of a great community.
And with that being said, we've got like a Clinton native, Scott Madison, now as our mayor, and that is great to see somebody from within the community.
Yeah, Scott's great. A good friend of mine as well. I applaud his vision and his efforts to take action to do some creative things like Tailgate and Tall Boys, bringing that large concert series to our community. Not everybody agree with it. Not everybody will agree with anything. It's if you got everybody agreeing, you need to pitch yourself, because it's probably a dream, right? But kudos to him and his entire team and Josh Eggers for taking a stance and making something cool happen with our community and exposing people to what's great about the Clinton area.
Again, visiting with Andy Sokolovich on FYI of Grow Clinton. Let's get into this. Recent developments in the Lincoln Way Industrial Rail and Park Art. The
Rail and Air Park.
Air Park, yes.
So if you're not familiar, on the west end of town, coming along Highway 30, right across from the Clinton Municipal Airport, there is a large industrial site known as Lincoln Way Industrial Rail and Air Park. Recent developments include the attraction of Atlas Roofing Corporation. There is a tremendous amount of dirt to be moved out there right now as Atlas brings their pad to grade, and we're also working on some infrastructure improvements to include rail and the installation of a 12-inch water main in partnership with American Water. So there's a lot going on at that park. For years, that park sat kind of dormant. You know, we had an asset, but it wasn't actively being marketed. It wasn't actively being sought after by companies looking to come to our region. But I tell you, you hit that one home run with Atlas, and it's a ripple effect. And now it's really put that park on the map. Across the state, it's probably one of the premier, well, correction, it is the premier industrial site because of access to rail, a 4-lane Highway 30, and all infrastructure and utilities are in place. You don't find that very often. A lot of places have industrial sites, but they have no roads to get to that industrial site. They have no utilities to support that industrial site, and they sure don't have the access to transportation that we have. So it's very exciting for me to be able to continue to market that.
And, you know, as you pointed out, with the airport right there, just pretty much right across Highway 30 from where they are developing.
Yeah, people often take the municipal airport for granted just because of the fact where you can't physically go out there with your luggage and hop on a plane and go to Florida unless you own a jet, right? But that airport does provide those people with corporate jets an opportunity to land and refuel. The opportunity for them to refuel is very important. So when we had the Atlas Roofing groundbreaking ceremony this past August, the president and the leader of Hood Companies, who is the holding company for Atlas Roofing Corporation, flew in on his private jet, and his pilot, who's been flying that family around for 30 years, which I thought was crazy. But what an easy way to fly into Clinton Municipal Airport, hop in a truck, drive across Highway 30, and boom, there you are at your $250 million site. So
you mentioned hitting a home run to get Atlas. Is there going to be like a domino effect?
Yeah, we hope so. I mean, when dirt starts moving, people start looking. You know, there's always that saying where if there's cranes in the sky, there's stuff that's happening. And when we start moving that dirt, we all of a sudden have had a tremendous influx of interest in that site. And this is what's crazy is 2 years ago, Gary, we sat around and we said, how can we develop this land? How can we develop this land? Fast forward 2 years, now we're sitting there going, we need more land. I mean, between Atlas Roofing Corporation and we have another project to the south called Project MG, that's really going to take up a majority of the accessible property within that park. It leaves us with about 120 acres to the southeast corner, and in partnership with Iowa Land and Building, which is a subsidiary of Alliant Energy, we have about 70 acres in the northwest. Outside of that, we're done. So
how many acres are we totally talking then, Andy?
The park itself is about 450 acres total. Okay. We subtracted about 150 of that for Atlas Roofing Corporation. 140 is optioned, meaning that the company has control of the property under an option agreement with the city of Clinton, and that's about 140. But just last week, we entertained a company that was looking for about 30 acres of rail-served property. So there are those few and far between that are looking for sub 50, but a majority of a larger manufacturing operation are looking for greater than 100.
Let's get an update on Atlas Roofing Corporation. How's that coming along?
Great company. They're doing some amazing work out there. As I mentioned, they're moving dirt, getting their site pad ready, meaning they can start pouring concrete. We'll start seeing some vertical infrastructure going in there probably October timeframe of this year. So you'll actually see the pylons and everything in the ground, and we'll be starting to erect the structure. Atlas is a great organization. They're a very family-focused organization, and this is the first time, this is what makes this Atlas plant so special. Atlas has always grown their market share by acquiring other businesses, meaning that if somebody was selling an asphalt shingle plant, they would buy that asphalt shingle plant. This is the first time they're actually constructing their own plant to serve as their flagship for their specialty products. So they have products like Pinnacle, which is a top-tier roofing shingle. Their biggest customer is Menards, so it fit that they came to the Midwest. And when they came out for their groundbreaking ceremony, they brought 26 of their employees out here. 26, from marketing all the way to the top guy, Mr. Warren Hood, out here to celebrate in the city of Clinton, and they have been nothing but complimentary. Actually, Adam Simpson, who's kind of been the project manager for this operation here in Clinton, drove in from Ohio and spoke at Rotary this past Monday and had nothing but just accolades and praise and positive things to say about everything going on within our community. So companies don't just choose a section of dirt. They don't say, oh, I like that plot of dirt, I'm going to buy it. They choose a community. And we are, in my standpoint, Clinton is easy to sell.
Visiting with Andy Sokolovich with more on FYI. Let's take a break for the weather.
For Thursday, we're going to be tracking a more active pattern settling into the region with rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could contain some small hail and also a good rush of wind as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures in the mid-70s today. An evening shower storm giving way to partly cloudy skies and low 50s for tonight. With your Storm Track 8 forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Sutsky.
Overcast skies, 60 degrees. Our update brought to you by Dan Dolan.
So where do you want to live? Imagine yourself in a new subdivision located between Whittier Elementary School and the new Clinton Middle School and alongside the beautiful Emma Young Park. Easy access to everything Clinton has to offer, just south of 13th Avenue North at Mill Creek Parkway. It's a great time to get into your new home. Come out to Mill Creek Crossing and see our family homes, or pick out a lot and we'll build your dream home for you. At Mill Creek Crossing, we're building a future for all generations. Stop out today at our sales office, open 7 days a week.
Going to continue on FYI with Andy Sokolovich. Of course, we're talking about Atlas Roofing Corporation. I want to just direct to somebody who's already in town, has been for a long time, Nestle Purina.
Ooh.
I saw that structure going up. Just incredible.
Yeah, despite what you hear on Facebook, it's not a steak and shake. No, it's funny when the rumor mill starts to churn, but yeah, Nestle has invested well over $350 million in that plant over the course of the last 5 years. We were cutting a ribbon October of last year, maybe it was the year before, I can't recall, when they purchased some of that property from Clausen's behind their plant and turned one into a production facility and the other one remains warehousing. They introduced 2 new lines to that production facility, but what they quickly realized is, warehousing, it's really hard to go horizontal with your warehousing because you need a lot of space, right? So now the trend we're seeing is to go vertical. And what that means is they are going to have a state-of-the-art, it's called an ASRS, and I can never remember what the acronym stands for, but basically it's a way for them to retrieve their final product via what I call to be a giant vending machine. There'll be very few employees in the building, but what they'll do is they'll control a large set of robotics. So a truck pulls up, the operator goes in, puts in the order, the arm of the robotic goes up, pulls the pallet, brings it down, puts it in the truck, off they go.
That is amazing.
So it's a really cool facility, and I'm very excited. Nestle's been awesome to work with. I mean, I've been doing economic development since 2016, and they're one of the premier companies that I can say they have the community laser focus as far as getting us up and operational, and they wanted to see Clinton succeed.
And another one, of course, ADM, right along the riverfront there.
Over $300 million capital investment in the construction of a new corn wet mill. I mean, they are truly landlocked between Highway 30, Lincoln Way, and the river. They can't move very far. So when they make modifications to that plant, it is a substantial investment. And the corn wet mill had been around for a very long time and was in need of repair. So they went ahead and constructed a brand new one. And then associated with them is also their bioprocessing facility, which is kind of the fermentation side of the house. And because of their ability to do large-scale fermentation, they've been able to attract companies like Spiber, which is a Japanese-based company that manufactures synthetic fiber silk. And they've been great partners. So, yeah, it's awesome. All of our existing industries have been great to work with, and because of their existence in our community, we're seeing a lot of attraction of other industries and support.
We do have great industry. There's no doubt about that in this community. How often, as the leader of Grow Clinton, do you touch base with the leaders of these various industries in town?
Oh, monthly, if not weekly. I mean, depending on where they're at, if they have a project going on, we're in contact with them almost daily. But Jenny Home from our office does what we call a value visit. And value is an acronym for visit, acknowledge, listen, utilize the information we capture from those visits, and then engage the company to be able to solve their problems. And she does at least meets with every large employer once a year, but through our office, we're communicating with them monthly.
Great. Let's move on to another one of your points here, the importance of taking advantage of the benefits associated with the Grow Clinton membership.
So Grow Clinton is a membership organization. We have several different tiers, level of investment you can make, but we have a tremendous amount of benefits associated with those memberships. So from coming to our networking events, especially if you're a small business just trying to get started, come out there and network. I can say for a fact that I would not be sitting in this chair today as the president of Grow Clinton if not for networking. Getting out there, shaking hands, meeting people, building your web of contacts. So we have several networking opportunities with our Biz After Fives, which we do monthly, where a company hosts us. We have this little small party to learn more about the company, engage, and go out there and network. We have veteran network events, where if you're a veteran of the armed forces and you want to come out, we do those quarterly. We have a robust HR task force. So if you're in the human resource line of work, and you want to connect with your peers, quarterly we do an HR roundtable where we bring in our HR professionals and we talk about what's happening in their world, try to identify problems that we can help solve. So there's so many benefits. I mean, of course, we leverage social media for promotion, and we leverage our website to promote the business, but also we have a great partnership with the Small Business Development Center, and the gentleman's name is Connor, and he's really been helping small businesses grow by identifying who their target market is. So if you say, who's your target market? And you say, everybody, that's not the right answer, because everybody is not your target customer. So we help develop avatars so companies can understand who their target market is, who their customer is, and make sure they're spending their advertising dollars wisely.
I want to make sure I say this right. Is it Interfuel?
Entrefuel.
Entrefuel,
Yeah.
okay.
Entrefuel. So really that's our entrepreneurial development program. So everything that we do, entrepreneurial focus, falls under Entrefuel, whether that's working with the Small Business Development Center in Connor to identify your target customer, or that's working with the SBA to identify financial resources, working with local lenders to identify small business loans. We want to make sure you succeed. I had a small business for several years. It's not easy, and sometimes you feel like you're out there alone on a deserted island and nobody's there to help you. Grow Clinton is really that one-stop shop where you can come into our office, join our organization, be part of everything that we offer, take advantage of our benefits, and we will work to ensure your continued success. It's definitely a partnership, and it's a conversation. I always tell people this. We have people that join sometimes and go, well, I didn't get anything for return on my investment. Did you reach out? Did you call us? Did you express that you had a problem? Did you take advantage of our networking events? Did you meet with Connor from the SBDC? Did you engage any of the local lenders regarding your financial demands? And if the answer is no, well, then you did not receive anything for your investment. It has to be a back and forth, and it has to be a conversation. And we're all about building those relationships with our members.
Putting together different things like this, is there like brainstorming sessions? Is it your idea that comes up with it? How does this all begin?
A little bit of both. I mean, a lot of things that we do are just stolen from successful organizations. There's no reason to recreate the wheel. I mean, if we see other organizations in the economic development chamber sphere that are doing some cool stuff, we copy it. And I mean, that's proven to be a very lucrative model from our investment. Our investment dollars from last year to this year are up 6 figures. So we've really seen an influx of people interested in joining our organization, and I think it has to do a lot with our programming. We really put ourselves out there, and kudos to Ashley Hatterberg from our organization. We always lacked kind of the branding and the marketing, the consistency of marketing to really get our name out there, not only in the community and the region, but the state. With Ashley's marketing expertise and her ability to do graphic design, we've created now a brand that is all the colors are the same, the text is the same, it all looks very congruent. and it's easy to recognize. And I think that's been definitely a contributor to our success.
Again, visiting with Andy Sokolovich of Grow Clinton. You got your annual meeting coming up pretty shortly.
Yeah, June 18 is our annual meeting. This will be the third annual meeting of Grow Clinton. So we're very excited about that. We have it out at the Lumber King Stadium, Nelson Core Field. And we're excited to work with Nate Vanderbleek, the new GM out there. It's exciting. I've been to a lot of annual meetings where they're kind of stuffy. You sit there at the same table around the same friendly faces. You eat your chicken dinner. You sit there, maybe you have a magician or somebody comes up and entertains you for about 45 minutes, and then off you go. We like to flip it around. So 80% of the time at our annual meeting is networking, drinks, food, fun, live entertainment. We will have a band that will perform. And then 20% of our annual meeting is us giving a very simple update of the successes we've had over the course of our last fiscal year. So if you're interested in attending our annual meeting, whether you're a member or not, we want you to become a member, but if you're just interested in dipping your toes in the Grow Clinton waters, you can go to growclinton.com, click on the events tab, and go ahead and register for our annual meeting. Again, it's June 18th. Doors open around 4 o'clock. We start letting people in, and then we close up shop at 7:30.
Appreciate you coming in, and you've done an amazing amount of work already in the 2 short years that Grow Clinton has been around. How do you see things going forward, Andy?
Moving on up, like George and Wheezy, right? It's that deluxe apartment in the sky. I mean, we're doing some great things. We continue to focus on professional development for our staff. So, like Matt Parbs is going to be entering into what's called he's in the Professional Developers of Iowa group right now, but he's going to be focusing on Oklahoma University puts together an Economic Development Institute, and he's going to be focused on that too moving forward. So, Stacy Borgeson from our office just came back from a Workforce Alliance meeting at the state level where she's learning more about how to get our workforce prepared for the careers that are available moving forward. So, we're not going to sit back and be complacent. We are definitely a progressive organization, and we'll continue to take strides to ensure that this community succeeds. Economic development is more than just a Chick-fil-A. It's more than just a Steak and Shake. There's a lot of things that are going on, and when you see cranes in the sky, it's a good day. And when you see new companies like Atlas Roofing Corporation moving to our community, you see our existing industries expanding, there's tremendous amount of wealth that's injected into our economy as a result of that, and that wealth in return just helps go towards the quality of life and increase in the living standards for our community, so everybody benefits from it.
Again, thank you so much for coming in. If people would like to find out more, I know the website, Matt was saying you guys have done some new work on that.
Brand spanking new, Gary. It launched yesterday, growclinton.com. Again, growclinton.com. We still have some tweaks that we have to make to the site from a content standpoint, but I told Matt, just rip the Band-Aid off, get it launched, because we want to see this bad boy up and visible to our members and our public.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.